the GOAT. I can only be the best.
How you feeling,
Let's
Cuzzo?
do it. Man, I'm all right. I'm all right. Another day, another slay.
I like it, man. So we're gonna just get right into it, man. So, like, what do you do professionally?
I am a paralegal for a law firm that handles bankruptcies, foreclosures, landlord tenant evictions, pretty much anything dealing with real estate law, estate planning, stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What motivated you to get into that?
Honestly, man, I can't I can't say that I was necessarily looking to get into evictions when uh the job was offered to me. I was leaving a property management company. I've been working in property management for a long time.
Yeah.
Even throughout, the time that I was in school, and the opportunity just kind of presented itself. Um and it was, I just thought of a good opportunity for me to be challenged,
Yeah.
because I had to learn a new landscape, having to learn, the policies, procedures, and things like that. Like I've readied accounts for eviction while working in property management, but actually going through the eviction process was something completely new.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Yeah. What do you like best about it?
um, man, honestly, what I like best is, you know, seeing uh the mediation portion of it, right? So
Yeah.
seeing people being able to stay in their house, like that's what I like to see. I can't say that I was, like, again, just really trying to get into evictions.
Right.
It But it does make me happy when we're able to work with our client and work with defendants to be able to, stay in their homes. That's a big thing, because I don't want to see nobody get kicked out of their crib.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel you on that, man. I could only imagine like how
Yeah,
hard that would be, like telling
dude.
somebody.
Some of the situations are just so bizarre. Like, you don't really think about it until you're actually in it, right? And you
Yeah.
dealing with somebody who lost their job, and lost their job because they had a terminal illness, and they're getting treatment for their terminal illness, and now, like, it can be such a snowball effect, some of these cases. And the good thing for me is being able to see people, stay in their crib.
Yeah. What would you say is the biggest challenge? I mean, that sounds pretty challenging to me, but what would you say?
um the biggest challenge for me, honestly, is just really learning all of the, because I process evictions here in Atlanta,
Okay.
and there are so many different counties. There's Fulton County, DeKalb County, Newton County, Bartow County. Like, there are so many different counties here in the Atlanta metropolitan area. Like, and each one of them has specific, policies and procedures on how evictions are processed.
Right.
And so that's probably the most difficult aspect of it, just really getting to know all of the different counties and what it is that they look for. But I mean, other than that, it's really similar in a lot of ways to work that I've done in the past. It's really, each case is case management, right? Each case is project management. So it's like,
Yeah.
to that degree of it is fairly simple.
Yeah. So I didn't ask the second part to the question,
Sure.
which is how did you overcome it? But I feel like you kind of answered that.
Yeah, I think asking questions, like, that's my thing all the time. Like, I'm never afraid to, like, people be afraid to ask a question because they're afraid to look stupid, right? Or
Yeah.
like they don't know something. But I would rather ask a question and be knowledgeable and actually know what the hell it is that I'm doing, as
Right.
opposed to just being ignorant and, something falling through the cracks. So
Yeah.
I'm big on asking questions, and big on taking notes too. Like, that's Those
Right.
are, you can't go wrong with those two things. It's old school, but it gets you through. So that's been, my way of navigating um, the challenges.
No, I feel you on that, especially like with the note taking part. Cause like when I was in the military, man, it was super hard.
Yeah.
Like me figuring out how to navigate stuff. And I
Yeah.
realized like, man, as long as I take notes and I could go back and look at it, like I'll be cool. So that's
That's it.
huge for me.
That's it, man. Like we abandon so many like things that we learned at like developmental stages of our lives. Like you remember when you took a test in school, you had to you would create, you would have notes, you would have a study guide, you would have to take notes off of your study guides and shit like that. And it's like when we become adults, we be so consumed with our everyday lives that we forget the most fundamental shit. Like,
Right.
yeah.
No, that's true, man. I feel you on that.
Yeah.
What would you say to somebody who is like interested in doing what you do? Like, what could they expect as far as like starting out, like salary wise?
I mean, it really depends on the market that you're in. Cause like
Mm,
uh if you're in like a well-populated city, you can make starting out, I mean, probably anywhere between like 50,000, 60,000.
mm,
Um, but if you're probably in like a more rural area, I don't know if that came across well because I'm from St. Louis, and when we say anything with multiple R's in it, it it gets a little convoluted. But if you're in an area where there isn't a lot of places where you know um, a lot of different property management companies or clients or things like that, you could probably expect to see something more along the lines of like 40 to 50,000.
yeah. Okay. Zaria just messaged me. Are you doing Sunshine's portion right now? She should have said something.
Oh, man.
I have no idea how to do that. So she just have to catch this on rewind or something. What advice would you offer someone just starting out, like uh, in your industry? Like, how could they be successful?
um, Great question. Well, first of all, there's a paralegal certificate that you can get. So, and that can pretty much be like a standard for paralegals across the board, like not just in real estate law. Like you can, if you have that certificate, it makes you a lot more marketable. Um, Certainly, if you have, a college degree, of course, but that would probably be a big portion of it, having that certificate, but also just knowing if you're particularly interested in real estate law or particularly evictions and things like that. Know the laws of the land that you'll be working in, because it'll make you a lot um, just a more marketable candidate,
Yeah,
in terms of recruitment and things like that. So that would probably be my suggestion.
question about that. Does it matter like where you get your certificate? Do you think?
No, so there's like a one, I guess, governing board or whatever, or like
Yeah,
institution that there are a few, but there's I think one that really is like the more broadly accepted.
right,
Uh, so yeah, I think you just do some research. Google is your friend.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. What trends do you see, like, or the future? What future trends do you see for your industry?
I really think, I mean, particularly with my company, we're beginning to automate a lot of the like referral and preparation stages of the eviction process. So I think that that's going to be a big thing, because in there are really like a few, in terms of the United States, there are really a few property management companies that own all of the properties for rent
Mm,
in the country. Like there, I think I don't remember the name of um, one of them, but or one of these really big shareholders, but there aren't a lot of property management companies. So With that being said, the automation piece is going to be really, really pivotal because there's so many different homes that are being, filed on a day-to-day basis by one particular client. Does that make sense? Uh,
Yeah,
yeah. So I think that the automation piece and like getting things into like a easier queue in terms of getting the referrals process is probably going to be the biggest thing I see in terms of the field here soon, particularly with my company at least.
gotcha, man. Is
Yeah.
there anything else that you would like to share, like about your career or just in general about like work or anything?
Never limit yourself to whatever you're doing right now. Because I had no idea that
Yeah,
this is where I would be. Like I worked in education for a long time. I worked in property management for a long time. I've worked in tech. I've worked for startups. Like I had no idea that this would be where I am today, but it's just the way life sometimes leads you, and the opportunities that present themselves. And don't be closed-minded. See what's out there and be willing to get your feet wet.
that's lit, man.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk all the
You're
time.
such a dad. You said lit.
Oh man, I ain't cussed yet on my show, so I'm gonna keep it there.
Well, I
I
did.
probably, I
I
probably
did.
have. Oh yeah, it's cool. That's I'll see. There we go. There we go, man. I'm about to. I think we're man. You already know what we're gonna talk about. Like,
Yeah, let's
so
get
big.
to it.
Let's just talk like big three because everybody's talking about that right now. We
Yeah,
kind of held off on this. So,
yeah.
do you want to do best or favorite? That's what I should ask you.
I could give you both.
Oh, okay. Let's
I
do it then.
could
I
give you
like it.
of current today.
We could do current, or we could just do overall. Let's do overall.
Raw,
Like, so their entire catalog or discography, like best and favorite.
best and favorite overall. Um, so for I don't know if you're gonna put like a
Yeah,
graphic
yeah,
or something.
I got
Okay, so then I don't have to segue this. Best for me, Jay. Um, Yay.
you. Okay.
Um, Man, that's tough. Third is so final, you know.
Hey, man, you chose your poison. So,
J, Yay, Nas. It's probably them three for me.
in that order, too.
Uh, no order. I can't,
All right, man.
yeah, yeah, I
Let's
can't
hear
do
it,
that.
too. Yeah.
Favorite though, I could do that in order. Favorite, Yay, number one. I think Kanye's his discography, it can't be matched, in my opinion.
Yeah. It's your opinion. No, I'm saying,
uh
like,
no, for real. Um Favorite, yeah, Yay, number one. Um I'm gonna say Jay, number two, and then third, I'm gonna have to say Kung Fu Kenny.
Kung Fu Kenny. Okay.
It's just it's getting to be just too much.
All right. So we're keeping this because we talked about it. That wasn't the question. That wasn't the question. That's my
what you,
bad.
what
But
you mean?
we still gonna do the question. So I got it right here. Out of
Oh.
these three, I'm gonna out of those three,
Okay,
put them in order. Like
that's easy. Kendrick, Drake, Cole.
Kendrick, Drake, Cole.
Yeah, for sure.
What? Tell me why.
I mean, I put Kendrick in my top 3 favorites,
Right.
so it's like I guess I have a bias there, but I just think it, and to some degree, I've lived in California, so I've seen how like Kendrick's presence in that city, like or in LA,
Right.
it's different for real. Like it's really, really different. I think to some degree, it's the same way probably that people revere Jay and Nas in New York. Like, and I think every album since he's been out, like he's pushed um he's pushed the envelope in terms of hip hop further than anybody else in that category, or anybody else that he's mentioned with. I think Drake is probably the most versatile of all 3 of them,
Okay.
but I personally don't think that Drake does like genre bending shit. Like he could definitely make different types of music. Like we've heard the Jamaican accent, we've heard the Canadian, the like all of the different shit. But
Yeah.
and we can't ever discredit Drake. Like the pen is great. The pause.
Yeah.
The pen is great. The the hits are just you can't put anybody next to those hits. Like they
Right.
just are what they are.
Yeah.
And then for Cole, um, I think again he's just a phenomenal MC. Yeah.
Yeah. How many? This is okay. This could easily keep going. I'm just
Yeah.
curious, how many classics does Cole have?
One.
You know what's crazy? So I've asked like 5 people that
Yeah.
same question. Everybody says one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it just
And
it just hit
I,
me.
I would be I would be more interested in knowing what everybody's one for Cole is.
It's 2014.
Okay, because that's mine as well. That is an album I can put on from start to finish, still to this day. Like when I'm driving somewhere, like driving out of town,
Yeah.
when I'm cleaning up, like when I'm working out, it's one of those type of albums. Definitely a classic.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Everybody agrees. Nobody agrees with anything in hip hop. So, but
Yeah.
I haven't had anybody say Cole has more than one. I
Yeah.
also haven't talked to any like J. Cole stan, so maybe they'll say more. But
Yeah, they'll definitely say more. They'll definitely say 2014 Forest Hills Drive. And what was the last album?
his
Um,
last album was good. What was it
it
called?
was good, but I don't think it was a classic. It has some heat on there for sure, but I don't think it was a classic.
Yeah, yeah, man. All right, cuz well,
But
appreciate you taking your time.
thank you for bringing me on. And I just also want to say, man, this is your podcast is um pr- right now one of my favorite podcasts to watch because you're interviewing real people. And I think that we are so caught up in a lot of ways, we're seeing like the death of celebrity culture in a lot of ways, but still too, we're seeing like that over glamorization of certain aspects of celebrity as well, and just doing this and creating space for just real conversations about everyday people. That's dope. Like that's really, really dope. And I think that, man, you're doing a phenomenal job and keep it up.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that, man. I mean, I just feel like the youth needs to hear something different besides
Yeah,
this and that. Like they're like, because at the end of the day, like you got to really go live life, man. And everybody's not going to be you
man.
this and that, but you can still have a really happy, successful life with a lot of achievements. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
No, I don't dress no more.